Hi, my name is Jay with Buymoto.com, your #1 source for motorcycle parts and accessories. Today we're going to talk about when the right time to change a motorcycle tire would be. And changing a motorcycle tire is definitely more critical than, say, when the time to change a car tire would be. Car has 4 wheels, motorcycle only has 2, and all of your power and all of your traction is transmitted to just those 2 wheels. So it is very critical to pay close attention to your tires and to find out what are the indicators that let you know when the time to change your tires would be. First thing we're going to look at is actually a fresh tire. And in this case, what I have here is a Bridgestone Battle Axe BT014 front tire. And what new tires have that you'll probably already notice right away is that they have quite a lot of tread to them. And tread is very important for channeling water as you're riding in wet conditions. And they will enable you to have good traction in almost all types of road conditions. And what we're going to look at real closely is the indicators on this tire that tell you when it's time to replace the tire. And if you look very closely on this tire, you will see a small triangle, usually an arrow, and this is common on many tires. And the arrow indicates where you can find what's called a wear bar. And inside of one of the treads, you'll notice a slight bump or indentation inside of the tread itself. And I'm pointing to it right here. And that little bump indicates when the surface of the tire is worn to that same level as the wear bar, that is time to change the tire. And you'll notice that that bump is actually a couple millimeters higher than the deepest groove on the tread, which tells you that you really shouldn't ride the tire till it's totally bald. So definitely use this wear indicator as a guide on determining, first and foremost, when's the right time to change the tire. And what I'd like to show you next is an example of a customer who was very, very attentive to the wear on the tire. And you can see here that the customer had noticed that the wear bar and the surface of the tire was starting to come almost even. In fact, this customer had decided that the tire was done right around 1 millimeter before the wear bar. And this is a wise thing to do, especially because this is a race tire. And so, when the tire became used to this condition, it was time to get a new one and be ready for the next track day. Now what I'm going to show you are some pretty extreme examples of how badly worn some tires can be. These examples are what we would consider beyond road safe. I would definitely say that if you are noticing your tires looking anything like this, it is time to run to your nearest motorcycle shop or dealer and get these tires replaced. So let's start by looking at our first example here. And you can see in the top 2 examples that I have, first that the surface of the tire is already starting to deconstruct due to just way too much mileage, and to the point where it's you can almost see some cord on these tires. Now the tires themselves are constructed using metal cores that go through the circumference of the tire, and when you start seeing that, there's not much left that will protect your tire from losing its air. So if you're riding on cord, it is very possible that the tire could just completely disintegrate and you could have a blowout on the road. And being that you only have one rear tire or one front tire, you could be in for a very, very messy trip. So make sure if you see this, it's definitely 100% time to change your tires. Another thing to notice that might not be as immediately evident is some cracking on the sidewall. Now this tire I have here is not only bald on the surface of the tire, but if you look closely, there is cracking throughout the circumference of the edge of the tire. and it was even more pronounced when there's weight on the tire. And what cracking indicates is that typically the tires become too stiff or dry to absorb any more harder impacts. So it's possible that you could run over a pothole and experience something like a blowout as well. So definitely pay close attention to the sidewall and examine it to make sure that you don't have any cracking there. Now I'm going to talk about some things that are less evident that indicate that you might need to replace the tire. What I have here is a front tire, and it might look pretty decent. It might have some tread still on the edge, but one thing to definitely pay attention to in this tire is that it's exhibiting something called cupping, which is uneven surface all through the circumference of the tire. So if we take a look real close, you can see that every other edge has worn unevenly. And this is typically due to not inflating your tire enough. A lot of people don't check their tire pressure as often as they should. And if you run too long, say at 13 psi, eventually your tires will also start to look like this. And this tire could have lasted the rider probably another 1,000 to 2,000 miles, but due to improper tire pressure, experienced this kind of uneven wear and had to replace the tire as well. So pay attention to your tire pressure and look out for any kind of cupping or feathering, which is a condition where it looks like feathers on a bird, where the tread will come on top of each other. The next thing to kind of look at is if you're a track day rider or a racer, or perhaps if you're looking to buy a set of takeoffs, is to closely examine the condition of these tires. Sometimes tires will exhibit what's called a cold tear, and it's when the tire has not gotten a chance to warm up, but the rider has gone out and ridden extremely aggressively on it. And what will happen is that bits and pieces, large chunks of the tire will start to come off due to the extreme wear on it. And you can see that in this case, this tire has a great deal of cold tearing on it. And though it has very, very deep tread still and it looks usable, this indicates that it probably is not a good idea to run this tire on the track. So definitely, pay close attention to little details like this as well. Finally, it's good to know about how many miles you can expect to get out of a brand new tire. Usually, tires should last you a minimum of 3,500 miles with proper inflation. Even race tires can last you as much as 3,000 miles. Tires that are sport touring type could go as far as 6,500 to 8,500 miles. It really just depends on how hard you ride and your riding style. So hopefully you've gotten a good chance to see all the different types of wear indicators, and that you pay good attention to your tires. They are things that will keep you on two wheels, rubber side down. So hopefully you've learned a lot, and thanks for watching. My name is Jay with Buymoto.com. You can always feel free to give any of our associates a call at 866-789-6686 with any of your tire questions. Have a good day.